Time now for a look at the day's business news. And we're going to start with the long-running trade dispute between the US and China. There are reports that the two sides are closer than ever to a resolution. To tell us more about that, we're joined on set by business editor Brian Quinn. Brian.
I think we're on round 10 now. I may have lost count. In any case, Vice Premier Liu He will be in Washington Wednesday for the next round in what has been 4 months of talks, with the White House saying it expects to make headway, and the Financial Times reporting that most of the issues in a potential final deal have been resolved. Well, Washington and Beijing have imposed tariffs on hundreds of billions of dollars worth of each other's imports since early last year. The Trump administration is seeking reforms to Chinese trade practices like forced technology transfers, intellectual property theft, and industrial subsidies. Beijing has reportedly made significant concessions, but obstacles remain over how to enforce an eventual deal. Donald Trump set the tone for the new round of negotiations Tuesday night. Here he is.
And we're fixing broken trade deals to protect the American workers, and we are standing up to China's chronic trading abuses and theft of intellectual properties and so many other things that they've done to us. I don't know how you people allowed this to happen for so many years. You've been here longer than me.
Well, investors are certainly optimistic about the chances for a deal there. Asian indexes made decent gains in Wednesday trade. Tokyo's Nikkei index finishing up nearly 1% as shares in Uniqlo parent fast retailing surged over 5%. Shanghai ending the day up around 1.25%. Hong Kong up 1.1%. The Kospi in Seoul ending the day up 1.2%. European indexes mostly following the same trend. London fairly flat at the open. The CAC 40 here in Paris up just over 0.2%, with the Frankfurt DAX ahead of it, nearly 0.9% at the open. Well, markets have been boosted recently by data showing a rebound in both the American and Chinese manufacturing sectors. The head of the International Monetary Fund now says a wider rebound is expected late in 2019 amid an ongoing global slowdown. Christine Lagarde, speaking ahead of the IMF's spring meeting, says the fund is lowering its global growth expectations for the year to 3.5%, citing a synchronized deceleration. Brexit, high debt levels, and trade tensions all currently holding back the world economy. Lagarde said that while a rebound was likely on the way, its duration is by no means guaranteed.
But again, to be clear, the expected rebound in global growth later this year and into early 2020 is precarious. Indeed, it is a delicate moment in and of itself, and it requires a delicate mix of policies. In other words, it should be handled with care.
Next, outgoing Airbus Chief Executive Tom Enders is set for a major payday as he prepares to step down at next week's annual shareholder meeting in Amsterdam. The 36.8 million euro retirement package has drawn major criticism in France from the country's finance minister, and not least from trade unions after thousands of job cuts under Enders' tenure. Catherine Bennett has the story.
It's a golden parachute of stratospheric proportions. Outgoing Airbus CEO Tom Enders has secured a retirement pot of almost 40 million euros. In that figure, Enders will receive progressive stock and performance bonuses amounting to 7.3 million euros, a 3.2 million euro non-compete clause valid for a year, and a retirement scheme of 26.3 million euros. Corporate governance firm Proxin West calculated the sum from public financial data. Airbus confirmed the figure, calling it coherent. But trade unions find the exorbitant sum a bitter pill to swallow after the company slashed more than 3,000 jobs across Europe last year.
After getting rid of jobs, they made us work even more. We're now working overtime and they're not hiring temp staff. Salaries are frozen. It's obscene. But for shareholders who've got a lot of money thanks to him, it's completely normal.
In France, a law limits huge retirement packages, but Airbus, which is headquartered in Leiden, operates under Dutch law. Even French Finance Minister Bruno Le Maire waded into the fray in an interview with newspaper Les Echos. The French government owns an 11% stake in the group.
The figure announced regarding Tom Enders is obviously excessive and could harm the reputation of Airbus. I call on the directors of Airbus to draw the necessary conclusions.
Since becoming CEO in 2012, Enders has overseen rises in the company's share price and an increase of 30% in net profit last year. But his tenure hasn't only been smooth sailing. The company scrapped its A380 plane last year, causing extensive job cuts, and is currently under investigation for corruption.
So we'll see what happens at that shareholder meeting next week in Amsterdam. Eve, that's it for business.
OK, Brian, thanks a lot for that. Brian Quinn there with our business update.